Hello and welcome to Treasury Notes, a show dedicated to the latest news and information from the office of West Virginia State Treasurer John Perdue. I'm Greg Stone, filling in for Gina Joins. As State Treasurer, John Perdue is responsible for more than overseeing West Virginia's finances. He also serves as the administrator for programs such as West Virginia Retirement Plus, Smart 529, and the state's Unclaimed Property Division. Later in the show, Treasurer Perdue and Unclaimed Property Receipts Manager Sara Denison will join us. We'll talk to them about how the Treasurer's Office has become a national leader in its efforts to recover and return unclaimed property. First, we'll take a closer look at the Unclaimed Property Division's recent success. Plus, how Treasurer Perdue is helping West Virginia children strive for a better future through higher education. Kim Ward has more.
Since taking office, Treasurer Perdue has worked hard to ensure that every person in the state can pursue higher education at a price he or she can afford. To date, more than 20,000 future students have taken advantage of the Smart 529 College Savings Plan. A few West Virginia elementary students are one step closer to paying for that college education thanks to their hard work in the Treasurer's annual When I Grow Up essay contest. This year's contest brought in more than 3,200 entries from around the state. Those essays were narrowed down to 15 regional winners. Treasurer Perdue recognized their achievement at a special ceremony in Charleston, where he also selected the grand prize winner in a random drawing. Ahmed Amir, a second grader from Maxwell Hill Elementary School in Raleigh County, took home that honor.
Even if I did win the $5,000, there's nothing more than my sister to me.
State Treasurer John Perdue honored Maxwell Hill Elementary student Ahmed Amir for winning the grand prize in the 2012 When I Grow Up essay contest.
And I just wanted to tell you how proud I am of you, of what you've accomplished in your essay, and what you've done in your dream of what you want to be when you grow up.
Ahmed was randomly selected as the grand prize winner during a ceremony in Charleston to recognize 15 regional winners from around the state. Each of the regional winners won $500 in a Smart 529 college savings account. As the grand prize winner, Ahmed received an additional $4,500 in his account for a total of $5,000 towards his college education. Treasurer Perdue praised Ahmed not just for his winning essay, but for the message he's sending to his classmates.
You know, I'm proud of him because he said he wants to take care of his sister.
Ahmed wrote his winning essay about his desire to become a Down syndrome specialist to help kids like his sister.
The people who have Down syndrome, I like them a lot because they're very cute, as I said in my story, that my sister.
Ahmed shared his story with students at his school.
I want to help other children who have Down syndrome to overcome their health problems and to be able to get along with other children their age.
Treasurer Perdue visited Maxwell Hill Elementary School not just to recognize Ahmed for his prize-winning essay, but for what his prize-winning essay did for the school.
He won $500 also for his school here, and we're going to present that check to Mr. Farley, the principal.
Each of the schools attended by the 15 regional winners received $500 to support school programs. While visiting Maxwell Hill Elementary in Raleigh County, Treasurer Perdue spoke to students about the importance of a college education.
A college education will open up those doors of opportunity for you beyond your expectations.
He praised students for dreaming big about what they want to be when they grow up, but used his own life experience to show them that as life changes, your dreams and plans can change too.
I said I want to be a basketball player. I said I want to be a teacher. I want to work for state government. I ended up being a treasurer. That's 4 jobs. In your lifetime, you'll have 7 jobs.
Principal Larry Farley appreciated Treasurer Perdue speaking to students about the importance of getting a college education.
He's probably touched the lives of quite a few children.
Even though college is years away for these elementary students, Treasurer Perdue points out that there are things they can do now to start preparing for that future.
So I encourage you to work hard in school, pay attention to your teachers, do your homework, and over the summer months here, don't fall behind. Continue your education. Go to the library. Check things out. Read. Read all the time.
Treasurer Perdue also encouraged students to be ready for next year's When I Grow Up essay contest. This is the second year in a row that a student from Maxwell Hill Elementary was named a regional winner for their essay. It's an honor that Principal Larry Farley would be happy to continue in 2013. While Treasurer Perdue encourages West Virginians to save for their future, he also wants to make sure they hold on to what they already have. That's why he works hard to educate and communicate with small businesses and individuals alike about the importance of pursuing and recovering unclaimed property. People are separated from their money more often than you may think.
People move, they forget they've had utility deposits, they forget they have had bank accounts, maybe small bank accounts. Maybe they have purchased stock or something for their children when they were younger and they've moved somewhere else.
West Virginia's Unclaimed Property Act requires businesses, banks, and professional organizations to report to the Treasurer's Office any property where there has been no contact with the owner for a certain period of time.
It requires that businesses that owe obligations to owners try to find those owners, and if they can't find them, they turn them over to the Treasurer's Office as unclaimed property.
Treasurer Perdue's office holds workshops where these property holders can learn about the reporting requirements.
So businesses are supposed to examine their records on an annual basis to see if they have any outstanding checks or property that's a possibility for unclaimed property. They're then supposed to make a last-ditch effort to contact the owner. If they can't locate them, then they are to turn that over to us as unclaimed property. Then we advertise in the paper and put it on our website and have people who attempt to contact owners to try to return it to the rightful owner.
Of course, the first thing to learn about unclaimed property is what can and what cannot be turned over to the Treasurer's Unclaimed Property Division.
And it's usually like bank accounts, paychecks, safe deposit boxes, utility deposits, anything that would have a cash value to it.
Sometimes we get calls from hospitals that say, can I turn over patients' property to you? But because we're not authorized to collect that, we have to tell them no.
Whether it's a check that wasn't cashed, a utility deposit that wasn't refunded, or the contents of a safe deposit box, the property is held until it meets the dormancy period. And only after the business makes an effort to find the property owner without success is it then turned over to the Treasurer's Office.
If you know that there is already a bad address, we do not expect you to continue to reach out to that person, to continue to waste your time and your fees on postage and stuff.
Of course, there are steps you can take to make sure that your property never becomes unclaimed.
If you have financial investments, it's important to keep those filed in a place where you can easily access them.
No matter how little you have or how much you have, I think a will is important.
Unclaimed property frequently results from people moving or dying. The best way to avoid your property becoming unclaimed is to keep good records of what you have.
Let somebody in your family know what it is that you own. So if you pass away or you're not able to care for your possessions anymore, someone knows where your bank accounts are, someone knows what investments you have, someone knows what life insurance you have, so that then that property doesn't become unclaimed, so that they can care for it.
If you're moving, make sure you give the post office a forwarding address. And for financial assets that you only receive periodic reports on, keep a list and mark them off as you receive them.
Have you received a statement on it? Have you received anything on it? If not, then I suggest you pick up the phone and call that company and say, I haven't heard from you, what's going on with my account?
Of course, if you do have property that becomes unclaimed, that doesn't mean it's lost forever.
The greatest number of property is returned typically the year after we receive it.
It's quick and easy to see if the Treasurer's Office is holding money for you. Just go to the Treasurer's website at wvtreasury.com. It's free to search, and if you find your name, you can file a claim right there online. You can also call the Unclaimed Property Division toll-free at 1-800-642-8687. To date, Treasurer Perdue has handled more than 700,000 unclaimed property accounts that total more than $152 million in unclaimed funds. He has returned more than $100 million to West Virginia businesses and individuals. While the majority of those unclaimed property accounts had a cash value, the Treasurer's Office does receive one type of physical property. When safe deposit boxes at the bank go a certain amount of time without activity from the owner, the contents are turned into the State Treasurer's Office as unclaimed property. Like any other unclaimed property, Treasurer Perdue tries to find the property's owner, but after a while, these items are put up for auction.
We are required by law to auction them within 3 years of receiving them. We do try to hold on to them long enough to advertise the owner's name, because we would much prefer to return the property to the rightful owner as to sell it and hold the proceeds for the owner.
The banks hang on to them for 5 years after, even if they've tried to contact people. So then we advertise them after we get them, but because of space, we can't keep it forever, so that's why it goes to auction.
Last year, Treasurer Perdue began auctioning these items online as opposed to the physical auctions that were held in the past.
We had been looking at online auctions for the past several years because it gives you a broader market, and we thought we might be able to get more for the owners by auctioning off property electronically.
Each auction consists of around 50 lots.
And a lot could consist of one item, if it was a nice jewelry item, or it could consist of 300 old quarters.
The Treasurer's Office uses an auction company to run the online auction, which is an advantage to buyers and property owners.
And part of the contract with the auction company is that they have appraisers, that every item is appraised, so we know that we are getting the best value for it.
Some of these things that we get are specialty items or collectible items, and so if you just do a physical one-day auction, you're more limited in your audience, whereas the people that bid on these tend to know what their true value is.
With an online auction, it is easier to attract bidders looking for a certain type of collectible.
If they don't want to go through every lot that we're selling, they can go by categories, and it jumps them to just coins or just jewelry.
Since the online auction started, more than 900 lots have been auctioned, and Treasurer Perdue is happy to see that many of those items have stayed right here in West Virginia.
We've had 23%, we can tell, of the auctioned items are people from West Virginia, so we know that our people are getting on there and buying and benefiting from this, plus helping the owners of these properties.
With an online auction, we have essentially a worldwide market for these items, which often brings in more money for the property owners.
When we auction off people's property, we have to pay the auctioneer, of course, first, but then the rest of the money is held for the benefit of the owner.
And they've been very successful. We've been very pleased with the outcome and the money that's brought in, and we can tell that there is a following.
Since last June, Treasurer Perdue's office has had more than 2,000 items in the unclaimed property auctions. Of those, only 9 items did not find a buyer. That adds up to a 99.5% success rate. Commemorative coins have averaged the highest bids. Total proceeds to the state treasury were in excess of $64,000. Of course, those proceeds go back into the property owner's accounts, where it is held until the rightful owner is found. Treasurer Perdue was recently recognized for his commitment to unclaimed property. During a recent Treasury Management Conference, the National Association of Unclaimed Property Administrators presented him its highest award, the NAPA Lifetime Achievement Award. Treasurer Perdue has been a longtime supporter of unclaimed property. His first piece of legislation following his election in 1996 was the Uniform Unclaimed Property Act. West Virginia was among the first states to adopt the act. Treasurer Perdue has been actively involved with unclaimed property during his tenure. The Treasurer's Office has consistently had among the highest rates of return of property to owners in the nation. Reporting for Treasury Notes, I'm Kim Ward.
Treasurer Perdue's Unclaimed Property Division has garnered national attention. Treasurer Perdue has helped make unclaimed property a household name by appearing many times on Dateline, MSNBC, CBS News, Good Morning America, and many other shows with a national audience. Treasurer Perdue is here with us today on Treasury Notes, along with Unclaimed Property Receipts Manager Sara Denison. Thank you both for being here today. Treasurer, I would like to talk to you about what this NAPA award means, and if you'd...
Well, you know, let me pick that up, Greg. The NAPA award, this is the Unclaimed Property Award that Kim's been talking about. But, you know, this award that we won on a national level that I received, you know, it's the staff that really makes what happens in unclaimed property in returning over $100 million to the people of this great state, being on national news, CBS, ABC, all the things that we do in unclaimed property. We have taken unclaimed property to new heights in West Virginia, returning in the last 2 years, I believe, almost 80% or something like that in unclaimed property to the rightful owners. And that's what we're all about, returning money to people in the great state of West Virginia, not only the people, but churches, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, baseball leagues, things like that. businesses, small businesses, a lot of them get unclaimed property, and to win a national award of being one of the best in the country and a lifetime award, it makes me proud, but also it makes me proud of my staff and what they have accomplished for the people of the great state of West Virginia.
NAPA stands for the National Association of Unclaimed Property Administrators. How long have you been involved in that, and why do you how have your contributions been so vital that you would get a lifetime award like this?
Well, you know, we started in 1996. You know, I was elected state treasurer. In 1997, we passed the National Unclaimed Property Uniform Law, and we were one of the first states to do that, which put us on the map. And we started leading the way and talking to other treasurers, other administrators around the country about unclaimed property. I became very active in NAPA and leading that organization and making it what it is today. We started missingmoney.com. Not only can you go in West Virginia and look for unclaimed property, but if you go to our website, there's a click on missingmoney.com. You can go anywhere in the country and look for unclaimed property. So unclaimed property has been put on the map, so to speak, with technology, where more and more citizens all around the country and in West Virginia as well can look for unclaimed property, because we're such a bordering state. So many states border our state. Many of our loved ones are over in Kentucky, Ohio, Virginia, and so forth, and you can go and look for unclaimed property there as well. And so it's been a great opportunity for us to shine in the state of West Virginia. I'm very proud, like I said, of our staff and what we've done in making unclaimed property what it is today.
It's unusual for someone might joke for politicians to give back money, and I know when we started our unclaimed property program, we'd set up in kiosks and malls and different places. People would actually be staying away from them because they assumed that you know, they owed some taxes or something. But it's got to be nice. And maybe that's why you have such a passion for this, to be able to give, you know, give people money back.
Well, you know, it's a marketing tool. When we started marketing unclaimed property, like you said, it was kind of funny. We'd go to these fairs and festivals and malls, and we'd set up, because technology came out, and we'd put all the unclaimed property on the internet, and we'd try to get people to come over and look, because it's free, and they would think we was the tax people trying to collect taxes from them or something, and they'd run from us. So it was kind of funny. But as we started marketing that program, advertising in the paper, doing more technology advertising, it soon caught on, and now who would ever dream that West Virginia had returned $100 million to its people, small businesses, and organizations in this great state, and that says a lot for what we've done.
That's certainly an impressive total. Sara, let's bring you in. We heard some in the package that Kim did about keeping track of your money so it doesn't wind up in state with the Treasury to begin with. What's the most common reason people lose track of their property?
Usually it's because people move or relocate from state to state, or maybe they've attended a college out of state and then came back home for various reasons, but usually for moving.
If there's one tip you could give in order to not lose your money, what would it be?
I think it's good record keeping, and you make your family or your heirs aware of what you have out there, whether it's insurance policies, stocks, bonds, bank accounts. Kind of sounds like a downer, almost putting together your will, but it's really important that it doesn't.
Though,
right, it's practical. It's a good practice not only for you, but so your family doesn't have to be surprised and wonder, you know, where did Mom have this account? Or
Well, you know, Greg, she just made a good point there. We're such a senior-oriented state. Our seniors in this state love to hide things from their kids, and so they'll get safe deposit boxes and not tell them that they went to the next town and bank or whatever and open up a safe deposit box. They don't keep good records. They don't tell their children about it, and then it comes to the treasurer's office. So we got to be on top of things all the time. You have to really be on top of things because we're living longer and longer, and so more and more of our seniors are hide things, and it's important that we keep those records and you share them with your children.
Assuming you've lost something and you know you've got it, what documents do you need to claim that unclaimed property? Some essential things.
Mainly, if you're a West Virginia resident, then you want to have, you know, proof of identity, driver's license, social security card, and etc. Out-of-state residents, it becomes a little bit more difficult to prove. We strive to keep, you know, any type of where fraud is on the uprise across the United States to a minimum. So we have various tools that we can use to prove identity. But first and foremost, you should have either a driver's license or a state ID card if you do not drive, Social Security card.
And we're doing more and more on that too, on e-claims. Sarah, as y'all well know, we're doing a lot more on e-claims in the Treasurer's office. More and more claims are being claimed online through technology than ever before, and we hope to make it a lot more easier, and we continue to work to make that easier for people to claim their money.
We talked about losing your property, but there are certainly other ways that property comes to us, and how does that happen?
We get property through various, not only just through if someone has moved or whatever, but not just accounts that are hidden per se, but through
I was thinking of holders.
Right, through various holders reporting. One that seems to be lost in the shuffle a lot of times is if you have landlords or apartment type management companies that you move, you realize you've left a deposit, it's turned over. Dividends seem to be a big one, especially royalties, interest.
But there's also a process by which, and the Treasurer's certainly familiar with this, if you've lost track of it for a while, a holder will wind up with it, such as a bank or another institution. Now we have educational programs to tell them how to turn that over to us. That's also part of the process, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, absolutely. The holders workshops that we hold around the state, where we educate our businesses on unclaimed property, has really helped us tremendously in getting that returned to the Treasurer's office so we can get it to the rightful owners. And you know, another big one out there is life insurance policies. Life insurance policies are going to be the great bonanza of unclaimed property, I think, in the near future as it coming around, because record keeping again, not telling your children about those life insurance policies, and they get misplaced, they get lost, and now we're really looking into that. I believe we're going to be able to start returning a lot more money to our citizens and on a national level in life insurance policies.
We've returned $115 million. That's quite a milestone. How do we do that? How exactly do we go about, finding people?
Holders are required by our law to do what's called a process of due diligence. That is their terminology to reach out to try to find the owner through their best possible way that they can. Given the property type, each property type is held for a certain length of time. Most bank accounts are 5 years. Utility deposits run on 3 years, etc. So depending upon what that time limit is, holders are asked to make the best effort possible, whether to send a letter or
once that's done, though, how do we, when we know people have it, how do we go out and try to find them? How do we try to reunite that with them?
In our office, we do publications twice a year. We run 15,000 names every 6 months as an insert to the local papers in every county, and they're rolled out. We also have on our website where anybody can go out to wvsto.com or wvtreasury.com and search for their name if they think they're a possible property owner, or as the Treasurer mentioned, they can go to Missing Money, check other states, and check the state of West Virginia.
Okay,
we do a lot more marketing too in that. Marketing unclaimed property is very important because we have field people to go out and they go to senior centers, they hold the courthouses, and we advertise in the paper that we're going to be there. And so people come by and talk and look. We still go to the malls. We still do those things that we thought was funny back when we first started, but they turned out to be home runs, and they really work. And so we're still doing a lot of the marketing, and that way, hands-on, person to person, to be able to find that unclaimed property.
Okay, you two stay right here. We're going to take a short break right now. We'll talk more with Treasurer Perdue and Sara Denison when we return. You're watching Treasury Notes.
I want my kids to have a better future than what I did.
It's key to have other people contribute to the 529.
This is a gift that we'll give for a lifetime.
A Smart 529 would be an incredible gift for a family member to give to a child.
Yeah, it's something that would give for decades after the original gift.
I just want to thank you guys for saving a college plan for me.
And it makes it worth it.
Welcome back to Treasury Notes. I'm Greg Stone. Treasurer Perdue and Sara Denison with the Treasurer's Unclaimed Property Division are with us today. We'll welcome them back. We'd like to move on. We heard earlier in the telecast about our unclaimed property online auctions, and they've been a smashing success. We've sold 99.5% of the items that we tried to auction off. That's a phenomenal rate. Sara, how did we do that? Why has this been so successful?
It's been a bigger success than our physical auctions because you get more exposure online. We're not only seeing just people within a certain radius of the auction location, we're getting national exposure, not just in the United States, but also, Canada, other countries, etc. That people go on and look at it just like you would go on any other internet site to shop.
Yeah, absolutely. It's saved us money too, with technology being able to auction off on the line, online auctions. A lot more people participate. We're selling 99.9%, like you say, and so it has made our job a lot easier. And I got a lot more West Virginians, a lot more people around the country participating in our auction and getting more out of those items than we ever gotten before doing those auctions ourselves.
And it's very easy to go on and bid, right? Well,
it is.
Yeah,
it's as easy as just setting up an account like you would any other shopping site on the internet. You place your bid, you have a certain amount of time. They run about every 2 to 3 weeks. You have a fresh batch of goods, and then we have very low rate of return on people that don't claim or don't follow through the auction, so that's also a good point. Saves us money.
So there are costs associated with both auctions, but you mentioned the broader appeal. But so the value in that is that there are knowledgeable collectors out there who know what these things are worth, and they're going to get a higher return for the owner.
Definitely.
Right? Yeah. You say it's easy to bid. You sign on, you go to it. How often do we do these auctions?
We run them about every 2 to 3 weeks. And you can access them again through the Treasury home site page right on the front. It'll tell you when the next auction is going to start, and then once you go to that auction site, it'll tell you a countdown, just like on any other auction site, on how much time you have left to bid, what the current bid is, if there's a minimum bid set.
And the good part about it is that it's a great opportunity for common citizens to pick up those gold coins, those silver coins, maybe worth something or a collector's item to them that means something. Might be a birthday of their grandparents or their parents or something like that, some coin. The cash money that's out there that they can see that the little collectors want to collect, and it kind of cuts out that big collectors trying to make money that buys in bulk and then resells, and it's a great opportunity for us to reach out to our citizens and really sell those items to them.
I'd recommend our website is wvtreasury.com. If you go on there, you click on a button, it'll take you right to the auction site. Treasurer, this is also we'll have to wrap up here, but this is also an extension of what I think has been a hallmark of your administration. It's using technology, and this kind of broadens that and it takes it a step further. Is that something that you've got to be pleased with? Because it adds to our legacy of...
Oh, absolutely. We've been one of the leaders in the state government in technology, whether it's Unclaimed Property, a Smart 529 program, another great program, e-government, e-commerce. There's so much that we're doing in technology today, and I'm very proud of what we've done there and leading the way in technology for the state of West Virginia.
Excellent. Okay. Well, Treasurer, Sara, I want to thank you for being here. Remember, you can always get the latest news and information from the State Treasurer's Office at wvtreasury.com. Keeping you informed on the Library Television Network, I'm Greg Stone with the Office of West Virginia State Treasurer John Perdue.